Hey guys, welcome to the Essetinoartists channel. If you're new here and if you're a longtime subscriber, thank you for tuning into our videos. My name is Orit, and in this video, I'm going to share some business advice for creatives. This is just really the tip or the key that has, if I had to summarize all of the amazing things, how all of the amazing things that have happened in my life have come to fruition, this is kind of what I attribute that to. It doesn't matter if you're a music artist like me, if you're a designer, if you're a photographer, just an online entrepreneur, you're a jewelry maker, it doesn't matter. If you have created a business out of something that you love doing, you love creating, then this advice is going to apply to you. And maybe you're already doing it. Maybe you can amp it up a little bit. Maybe this is a reminder and you're not doing it enough. This is it right here. And I will use my, I'll use my music journey as a little story, as an anecdote for you, in terms of why this is so important. So first of all, I want to share with you that it is so, so, so important to never stop creating, ever. So obviously, if you're not passionate about it anymore, that's not what I mean by this. But what I mean is if you're super passionate about creating whatever it is that you do, but you find yourself going through this roller coaster. Sometimes you'll be creating, sometimes not. Sometimes you'll procrastinate. Other things get in the way. You put it aside. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that makes you stop creating consistently, you gotta bring yourself back up on that horse. You have to make a point to never stop creating, because what that will do is it will number one, eat at you internally, and the way that you feel about this particular creative business of yours, whatever it is that you're trying to do or succeed in, the way that you will feel about it will reflect in its performance. So if you're feeling like you're not, you can be doing more, if you feel like if you feel disappointed or frustrated because you're sad or whatever it is because you're not creating enough that you should be, then that's going to be reflected in the performance of the creative business. It's not going to perform as well as you would like to. It's not going to be attracting more opportunities, making more money, because you got to remember that your business is a reflection of you, of what's going on with you. So you need to create that energy. You need to create that momentum and keep it going. And the way that you keep that passion, that productivity, that momentum going is to never stop creating. That's number one. Number two, and there's only two pieces to this, is to never stop marketing. Never stop putting yourself out there. Never stop telling people what it is that you're doing, what you're creating, what you're going through, your journey. All of that kind of stuff is all pieces, little pieces of how you market your business. And this is kind of the balance. You need a balance of both. You need to be able to do both. Actually, maybe not even so much a balance, but more so on the marketing side. Because if you are continuously creating but not doing enough marketing, then you're constantly going to be struggling to make this business grow. You're going to be struggling to make sales, to make those partnerships, those collaborations that will expose you to even more audiences. It's going to be tough. You are going to be the artist who's just continuously creating, not seeing much fruition come out of it. You really have to hustle to get yourself out there, to continuously be posting on social media and tell people what it is that you're doing. When you start to take your business seriously, then that is when you'll see other people starting to actually treat you like that photographer, that jewelry maker, that musician, they'll start to actually see you in that role. Because if you're not treating it seriously, then it's just a hobby, and it will forever be a hobby of you just enjoying to create, right? And that's fine. If that's your goal, that's totally cool. But if it is your goal to create for a living, to make this your actual career, because you're so passionate about it, you want to do it all the time, every day, then what you need to do is continuously create and continuously market. Those are what I have found are the two foundational pieces, no matter what. If you really, really want to simplify this, it really comes down to those two things. And I've seen this with my music. I've seen this with my business. I've seen this with freelance designing when I used to do that as well. I still do design work, but it's not so much freelance anymore as it is for actual, we have clients that come to us for design work, for mentorship, that kind of thing. I've had to learn this lesson over and over again. And you know what, guys? I've had to learn this lesson over and over again. Like, it took me a while to actually get it, because it's happened multiple times where I will entirely just focus on creating and not be putting myself out there. And then it's also happened where I'll just entirely focus on marketing, just throwing pieces of content up there, but I'm not creating anything new. And that creates a major disconnect, like feeling like almost like, why am I posing myself as a music artist when I haven't created anything new in such a long time? So there needs to be this congruency of creating and marketing in order to bring that, to attract those opportunities for people, joint venture partners, collaborations, for sales, for clients, for customers, for really cool opportunities that you can't even think about until they actually fall in your lap and you're like, this is amazing. This is a dream come true. And I experienced this with my music more than once, as I mentioned, because when I first made that decision to pursue a career in music, to start performing, to start writing, to record my own music, put out albums, it was such a scary decision. It was, I had never done anything like that before. All I knew was this thing inside of me, like, I have a passion for music, for singing like no other, for performing. I want to perform in front of people because that's the most natural expression of myself that I can think of, is just performing. So when I first got into that, it was an entirely scary world, and I jumped in and I started seeking out people who could help me with this. I started, reaching out to people who have created an album before, and, looked up in the paper to look up new recording engineers. And I started doing all of these things, and the ball of energy just kind of grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, totally simplifying things, but this is just to put it in perspective. What I'm saying here is that ball of energy grew, and it became such a high. I actually ended up going across Canada on tour, promoting my new album, my Cleopatra song. We did 12 cities in like 14 or 16 days. It was absolutely amazing. It was a dream come true. And then after that craziness, that high of me constantly putting myself out there and sharing my journey and creating new music, I let it all go. I stopped creating. And I stopped creating because I didn't think I could reach that something like that ever again. It was just such an amazing thing that I was like, okay, well, where do I go from here? I was scared to step because I didn't want that step to be a disappointment to myself and to others. And I actually tell this story on my music channel. So if you want to see the full video, I'll link to it in the description below. But what I'm saying is I stopped creating. And because I stopped creating, in that first bit, I actually was still marketing. I was still throwing up pieces of content here and there from the tour, but I didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to just continuously be posting this without me actually doing what it is that a music artist is passionate about, right? Which is creating new music, singing, that kind of thing. So you need both. You need both because if you focus entirely on just creating but not the marketing, then you're going to have a hobby. You're creating for yourself and you're not sharing it enough with other people to attract that business back into your life. If you're just entirely focusing on marketing but not creating, you're staying stagnant. You're eventually going to hit a plateau where it's either going to be this thing inside of you that doesn't feel right, and it's going to be dissatisfying, or you're going to see it in your business itself. Like you're not producing new music for your fans who have already come into your world, or for your customers who have already bought from you. So it will lead to that plateau that I'm talking about. So I hope this has been somewhat helpful for you. I just decided to, I had the idea in my mind to just talk about creating and marketing, because those are the two main things that I feel are just integral pieces to successfully creating and growing your business. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to add something? Do you have a question? I would really love to hear from you. Leave it down in the comments below this video. And if you liked this, please hit the thumbs up so I get a sense of whether you're liking this content or not. And subscribe to the channel for more mindset stuff like this for creative entrepreneurs every week on the channel. We also have a creative community on Facebook that you can join. There's lots of different creative entrepreneurs in here, from jewelry makers to designers to online entrepreneurs, photographers, all that kind of stuff. And what we share in here is just sharing with each other what's working, what's not, inspiration posts that we come across, resources, there's files in here, and opportunities to collaborate, get feedback, ask questions with other people and with ourselves as well, with myself and Jewel. So if that sounds helpful to you, I'm going to put a link in the description, as where all links reside every time you watch a YouTube video. And thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Bye.